Wow, that was incredible, guys. I say that every
Yes, it
time.
was.
It's the worst. It's terrible. This opening sucks. No, I'm kidding. We didn't have anything Irish to open up with, as far as like, you know, like a logo or something. I guess we could have gone with the green Rumble Pop logo, but yellow works too. And besides, we've
Yeah,
got
get
music.
together, Donald.
We got very loud music. Let me turn that down. There we go. Let me turn this down too. Jesus, these are all on like ultra high level loud. Woo, boy. Okay, I'm turning that down too. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We are Rumble Pop Live. Golly G, thank you so much for being on. Very excited to have everybody here. I'm so excited. I already peed myself a little bit, which could be the alcohol. I'm not sure. But geez, Janet's on. And she mentions my name last. You see, Janet, us Leos, we take that personally. Just pointing that out. We just take that shit personally.
Isn't the saying goes, save the best for last?
No, that's a bullshit saying, Sal. It's a bullshit saying. You only do that with chocolates and probably alcohol. And speaking of which, Chris, the bottle that when Chris Turner, when he moved out of LA, he left me with a bottle of scotch. It was Glenfiddich. It was a 12-year bottle, and I kept it, and I didn't finish drinking it. And I'll be damned if the heat didn't get to it. And there's about this much of a drop. I could probably get 2 or 3 drops out of the goddamn bottle now, and it was like here at one point. It just dissipated. So, like the LA weather ain't no joke. It will take your whiskey and your scotch from you if you don't drink it. So, word to the wise: just drink as much as possible, as quickly as possible. There you go.
Here.
Words of wisdom.
Is that truly the way to go?
I think it is. Yes. You love to give your friends center stage, though. Since when? I don't give any. I'm the star. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't mind when people take center stage as long as I've helped get them there. No. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. We are Rumble Pop Live, and we've got some fun things that's going to happen tonight. Some really fun stuff, guys. I'm really super stoked. Kevin's excited. Chris is moderately amused, and Sal will at some point get an erection. But until then,
it's already there.
Whoa.
I'm double guessing why I'm here.
You froze as hell is what you are, son. You couldn't look more angry in your frozen state. And perhaps you'll unfreeze and perhaps you won't. We don't know right now, but the way you look, you look angry. You look really angry.
Almost looks like the cover of The Shining.
Top of the evening to you. Oh, yes, it does kind of look like it. Yeah. Oh wait.
His screenshot.
Yep.
Put his face on the movie cover.
Of course I am.
I'm dead.
And done.
I'm sorry, Chris.
This is going to be fun. Oh, man, can't wait for this. Good job, Sal. Good job.
Oh, he left.
Oh, Chris is gone. And now, look, the
back.
name is in the... Oh, no, he's back. Damn. Everybody was bigger and larger and better, and then Chris popped back in. It's okay.
Yeah,
Chris,
you called me fat?
My mom says Chris is stiff.
What?
Yo.
Wow.
Pause.
You know, I got you know that it froze as I was staring at a bottle of Glenfiddich.
Ah, you heard the whole speech then, huh? But for tonight, since it's all things Irish, and we are celebrating the great mother country, the state that, or the country that's brought so many wonderful things to us, so many marvelous things to us. We're talking about Ireland, of course. I have my Irish Star Wars shirt, which is ridiculous, and my Irish Pittsburgh Steelers hat, which is also ridiculous, but I love it, and I'll be wearing this all week, actually. And then I have Trader Joe's Special Reserve Irish Whiskey. Can't go wrong. It was on special. I also have something not many of you have heard of. Sammy has, though. I have Shanky's Whip, which is made in Ireland.
Whip.
Yeah. Have you guys? And I can almost guarantee you about 2 people in this chat, at most, has heard or tried Shanky's Whip. Shanky's Whip is wonderful. If you've never had an Irish coffee, have it with Shanky's Whip because it is a rather marshmallowy dark liqueur flavor, and it is spectacular. Have you ever had a marshmallow Irish coffee? No! No, you've never even thought of it. Shanky's Whip. Sponsored by today, our podcast, Shanky's Whip. Not really, but it should be. Shanky's Whip should reach out to us and say, hi, we're Shanky's Whip, and we want to sponsor you. And we'll say, yes, of course, Shanky's Whip. Thank you, Shanky's Whip. And then we'll go from there. That's our big push. But it's really good. It's black, it's smooth, and it's Irish. Which
I'm
is
talking about
Did
Kevin
you say
like
it's
that.
black and smooth?
no, it's like
You said
me.
black and smooth?
It's exactly like me. It's
Unlike Kevin.
I'm technically black
Unlike-
Irish. I don't know if you
Wow.
know that. I am black Irish. That means the dark hair, the dark eyes, and you're Irish. That's what a black Irishman, black Irish is. That's what it means. That's what it stands for. So Shanky's Whip.
You're gonna have to bring that to the shop and let me take a taste.
Oh, maybe I will. Maybe I'll whip out my Shanky's Whip and you can take a taste.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Hey, come over on. You should come on Wednesday when we do the evening show. Because
At the shop.
yeah, I'll be full Donald that evening, for sure.
All right. I'll try to make it there.
Okay, I also have a pint that I'll be drinking tonight. This is generously donated by Sean from McLeod's Brewing Company in Van Nuys, California here. This is the King's Taxes. Of course, England is part of Scotland, technically the UK, connected together, and Northern Ireland. So that is why I'm mentioning this. It's very good. It is a very refreshing, kind of I would say an amber ale. It's got a really nice flavor to it. And if you ever find yourself in Van Nuys, California, go to McLeod's Scottish Brewing Company and try the King's Taxes. It is excellent. So thank you, Sean, and thank you to McLeod's. Also,
Let's go there.
if you're in for a pint or you're happy to be in Texas and you happen to be in, what is it, Chris? It's Houston? I want to say.
Yes.
Go to Splattered Frog Brewing, a.k.a. Josh's house, and try a pint of his beer that he may or may not have brewed. And if he doesn't, make him brew some for you on the spot. On the spot, and he will do it. He also has hats, shirts, koozies, things like that. So go to splatterfrog.com, type in the coupon code SHORTBOX for 20% off. And if you're feeling trippy, perhaps try some Trippy Pickle from Half's Hot Sauce. Look at where I'm at on this. Almost polished off another bottle. Had a turkey burger today without the bun. Slathered it in this bitch, and it was delightful. One of my mom's favorites, one of my favorites. Go to Half's Hot Sauce, type in the coupon code Donald Hiccups, and get 10% off your order today. Check it out, guys.
Actually, I just tried some ribs with it today. It was pretty good with that too.
Oh, we've got some comments. Oh, that's great. Good. Let's see. Janet, potatoes, says Mom. I don't know why. Ask Noodles a question, says Noodles. Noodles says, ask Noodles a question. Oodles of Noodles. Scorch says, hello. Noodles says, hey, Donald, give the other people a chance to talk. Well, I have to mention the sponsors, unfortunately, Noodles, and that's why I talk a lot. But if you would like to mention the sponsors, you're always welcome to come over to my place, and you can sit in my seat, and you can do this, and I'll sit over there and just watch and drink. But until then, this is what's going to happen, so I'm sorry, but it is the way it is. With that being said, though...
This
Donald, I
this
swear.
kind of gets to my funny intros.
There we go.
First, welcome, brothers and sisters of YouTube. Welcome to the luckiest and the merriest show tonight on YouTube. It is Rumble Pop. And now I'm going to introduce to you my co-hosts and co-conspirators. First, the madman, the cocky man in that blue headset. The man wearing that Star Wars Irish t-shirt. He is from the great state of Ohio. He is Bruce Campbell's #2 fan. He is DC Comics for life. And if you have a problem with it, he will pop you in the mouth. He is one of the sexiest men in North Hollywood, California, according to some 2023 poll that was conducted in LA Weekly last year. He is a man that has made so many ladies. He has brought so much joy and ecstasy to them. He is a man who is always socially lubricated. He is the original Dog.
Even the ladies' ecstasy, huh?
Yes, yes.
That's so wrong to
Next.
say, Kevin.
Next, we go to a man who is from the great state of Michigan, but now he resides in that beautiful Lone Star state of Texas. He is a man who is one of the most learned men in America today. He is a professor of many arts, a man who is also a ladies' man. He is a man who knows so much. He is lovable. He is huggable. He is Professor Chris D. Turn.
Yeah.
Hi.
And last, but certainly not least, a man who always turns the other cheek. A man who was born and raised on the harsh streets of Santa Clarita, California. A man who spits the most homicidal lyrics. A man who is one of the best people in video gaming today. If you go to his Twitch channel, Osiris Reed, you will see him that he's truly a master of hip hop and a master of superb gaming. Give it up for the man the ladies love as well. He is Big Sal.
That's so nice. He gets it twice.
Yeah.
Of course, I am your humble podcaster, your humble servant, the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan Arts, your Supreme Chancellor, Brother Kevin.
Hey, Donald, do you
We're-
have Sorry, real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kevin. You don't have the dollar store blowhorn, do you? If
Not,
good,
not-
I'm
not on
double
me.
checking.
But do you want?
continue, Kevin?
Okay, so I took one into the shop, into the comic shop. We Can Be Heroes, and Showtime got a hold of it. So you know what happened? Every 5 minutes, because he's going over and launching it everywhere. It was a hoot. It was $1.29 well spent. Let me tell you.
Oh, thank you so much. Did you see the comment, Donald? Someone says when they die, they want me to host their funeral.
Oh, that's cute.
They don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Anyway, Kevin, you can continue on what you were saying. I just wanted to make sure that Donald wasn't going to try and interrupting us with that horn.
Oh, no problem. Brothers and sisters, tonight we're gonna have a good time.
I still
There
have
we go.
that.
It is part 3 of All Things Irish. And the gentlemen on the panel are going to discuss many lovely things that are Irish related, things to get your green going, things to make you feel good. I know that Professor Turner is going to discuss the trip to Ireland and all the lovely sites that he visited with Brother Donald. I know Sal and I will discuss some comic book characters of Irish origin.
Yep.
And what's going on here? Is he lip syncing?
Ooh.
Donald, it's like lip syncing. You all right, buddy? can't hear you.
Remember, his mind's not all there. His mom dropped him as a baby.
Several times.
No. There
Several
we go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah,
Now
the
we can
thing
I've
hear you.
also
is
dropped
that
him several times. as a baby.
she thought it was me, but it was actually my youngest sister that got dropped. And then after that, she decided to name her. See, I was named after my dad, and my oldest sister was named after my mom, and the middle sister, she was full on adopted, like full on adopted. So they gave her a different name,
Oh, come on.
and I think dropped her a couple times. Stephanie, I love you. You know I'm teasing. She watches this.
She's gonna beat you up.
You
Watch.
go back home,
know.
she's gonna beat the hell out
She's
of
gonna
you.
wait
You
for
go back
August.
to Ohio.
She's gonna
She's in the face.
Fargo you, bro.
Yeah, something. Fucking Conor McGregor. Oh, you've had his whiskey then, huh, Chris? Mom says never in front of anybody.
Oh,
Dang. Oh my goodness.
Donald,
What?
Question for you, sir.
Yes, sir. Hit me.
Are you ready to pull out the full glory?
Yeah, change the name of that.
Are we talking about my penis or the?
No,
No,
sir. No, sir.
That's what I vote for.
Okay.
Maybe we
Okay.
can give us
I
some
was just
extra
asking.
No,
views.
Just
no
checking.
judgment over here.
Just checking. I mean, because that will get us shut down. Just to let you know.
Yeah, then I can go to sleep.
Of course it would.
Like, first of all, mass, like, oh, is not. Yeah, like that could get us in a lot of trouble.
Or hear me out.
Yeah.
Or we go viral because it's so small.
We go viral. Shut up, Chris. I hate you. I hate everything you choose to be. You've seen it.
Oh God.
Now, gentlemen, let's not bring out private affairs.
He's at least
here
seen
on
my
the live
ass.
stream.
I know that. I've mooned him at least 50 times in his life.
I can't get out of my nightmares.
It's really not
It's
bad.
like-
It's not
It's
bad.
the moon.
It's pretty nice.
the moon in my nightmares. It's like you look at the
Remember?
sky
In
and
the-
you see Donald
In
Trump
the sky,
shining.
it's just my cheeks.
How white it is. It's just radiating light.
I'd like to ask you a few
I'm-
questions.
I'm sure his derriere
Adam-
is white. But
Adam,
he
my
must
sister,
keep it clean here.
is very married, so that probably won't work. Chris says, I have had his whiskey. It's not terrible, although my favorite Irish whiskey is called Redbreast. Redbreast is actually the best whiskey I've ever had. It's so good and smooth. Chris, you need to come over. I'll bring you into a whole new world. Redbreast is not bad, but there's others. Trust me, there's others. You can only take so much emotional scarring, says Sammy. Ooh, okay. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, Dr. Sabrina.
Kevin. Since it's all things
Yes.
Irish, this basically everybody that's listening right now, it's going to be a hodgepodge of things. We're going to talk about locations. Chris is actually a very astute, very competent travel agent. And we'll be talking about locations in Ireland that either he's been to or is working on with some clients. So that'll be really fun. We'll get to learn a little more about locations in Ireland, things like that. I'm going to be talking about Irish food because I was a cook for many years, and I feel like food kind of brings everybody together at a table. It brings communal events. It just brings warmth and heart, and I enjoy that. Kevin and Sal are going to be talking mainly about comic book characters we didn't know were Irish or perhaps forgot. So there's going to be some of that as well. But before all of that, I think I'm going to pull out. Hey guys, so this is the segment where I pull out just a little bit. And what I mean by a little bit is there's like 4 to 6 usually comic books that I've read in the past week that I would like to discuss. Some of them are very recent and some of them have been out for a little bit, just depending on when I got to them. Let's talk about James Bond 007. This is by Garth Ennis. This is the one I read most recently, as in about an hour ago. It is the James Bond that Kevin would love. And Kevin, when I say that, I know who your favorite James Bond is. Why don't you just say who your favorite James Bond is? Go ahead.
Well, my top 2 is Timothy Dalton and, of course, the great Sean
You
Connery.
don't need to say any more. Timothy Dalton. This is the Timothy Dalton James Bond right here. He might look a little different, but this is him. He is not very nice. It opens with a drug lord family. And the Godfather basically is like, James Bond killed my son, and I need the whole family to go after him. And blah, blah, blah. And he's playing music in the background, and then he turns around, and all of his family is dead except for his mother, who's an invalid in a wheelchair. She's like this. No, I'm not joking. She's like this, and she's drooling, right? Holding her arm here, and she's drooling. And James Bond then shoots the guy and kills him. And then he turns to the mother and he looks at her and he's like, better safe than sorry, and puts a bullet through her head. No, I'm not shitting.
Wow.
Damn.
This is some vicious James Bond shit. And of course, from Garth Ennis, we wouldn't expect any less. So James Bond 007, this is by Dynamite Comic Books. Came out a couple months ago. Highly recommend it. It's pretty good so far. There's a really cool idea behind it, and I think Jean-Claude Van Damme would really appreciate this. And if you know, you know. Moving on, we got The Fog. Yes, brand new, came out last week. John Carpenter's The Fog, based on John Carpenter's story about those rascally pirates that appeared in the fog in a bay and just wreaked havoc on a small town. Will it happen again? Probably, and that's what we're looking at. This is the future. This is the grandchildren. These are the relatives. The most interesting aspect of this, I believe, is the log of the great-grandmother of one of the people inside the town that writes a diary at the end. And I know that's weird to say because I don't normally read that. I consider that stuff kind of bullshit. You know, I want to read the comic. I don't need all the extra filler in it. That sounds weird, but this is where I'm a little ADD. But this is actually turned out to be somewhat decent. 007 I'd rank a 7. This one I would give a 5.5 to a 6. I'm curious to see where it's going to go, but I don't necessarily want you to spend your money. So if you do find it and you haven't bought anything in a while, pick it up. If not, it's okay. Moving on. The third and final part of Giant Robot Hellboy, number 3 of 3. Yes, Giant Robot Hellboy. Giant Robot Hellboy. The Robot Hellboy is no longer run by Hellboy himself, who had a helmet on in a different location that they were using his brain waves to control the robot. Somebody else is inside the robot. We don't know who or why, but the robot is controlling itself at this point, fighting these monsters and trying to protect this woman on the island. Will he succeed? We don't. Well, I know, but you'll have to tune in to find out. I give it a 6.5. It's entertaining, but it ends on a cliffhanger, and I feel like we didn't get enough. So if you have extra income, get it. If not, let it go. Moving on. Oh, joyous joy. We have moved into episode 3, aka issue 3 of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees by IDW, the hit IDW series of Kevin Anthropomorphic. Right?
Oh, anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic characters. I never get that right.
It's okay, Donald. You'll get it someday.
An anthropomorphic Dexter, basically, that's a female bear in a small town that kills people, has found out that there's another murderer in the town that likes to be seen, whereas she hides in the shadows. She must find out who the killer is, and this is the 3rd issue of that, and it is spectacular. It continues to astound me. It is a 9.5 out of 10. Highly recommend it. Grab every single issue that's come out. First print, 3rd. I don't give a shit. Just grab it, read it, enjoy it. Okay. This one was actually really good. Torpedo 1972. This is by Ablaze Comics Company. Imagine Al Capone is killed by a hitman, and that hitman is still alive. A news reporter and his girlfriend, who is a photographer, go to meet him, and he says, it'll cost this much money. And the photographer says, sure, I'll photograph you. He goes to her place to get photographed, ends up having forced himself upon her, which leads to a crossroads for the boyfriend and a crossroads for the hitman and his flacky. Torpedo 1972. It's very interesting. It also is a trigger for some people, so if rape is something that bothers you, I would not recommend reading it. It should bother you regardless, but I mean deeply bothers you to the core. I don't recommend reading it, but if you enjoy an interesting story, Torpedo 1972 might be up your alley. I give it about a 7. It's actually pretty good. And Golgotha Motor Mountain. Yes, it's about a town, I believe, in Kentucky. And these 2 meth cookers that find a space asteroid and decide to dust it and try to sell it as meth, creating thereby aliens that are taking over the human species. Really interesting, fascinating idea. And if you live in Ohio or Kentucky, you definitely know about meth. So this is it's just true, Sal. Trust me. I used to live in Ohio for a long time. It's issue 1. It's really good. I would give it about a 7. I think a 7.5. Maybe you should check it out if you're into it. IDW is killing it with their indie world right now. Highly recommend that you get on the IDW indie train. And I guess that's it. I think I've fully pulled out. That's interesting, but okay, fair enough. All right, let's get started on some things. Jason says, "Oh shit." Oh, Beneath the Tree sounds good. Sabrina, it is phenomenal. They just went to 2 weeks ago. I think they went to a third printing. We already sold out at the shop at We Can Be Heroes. They're probably going to go to a fourth printing. I'm going to be honest with you. And if they do, I highly recommend you pick it up. Crimson Fox 4. Hey, Donnie, how are you doing? Doing well, Crimson Fox 4. Thank you for joining us. Does Hellboy ever become Hellman? No, not really. He stays a boy, Chris. Good try on that one. Noodles asks, Kevin, are you Irish? Did you respond, Kevin?
My name is Irish, but I'm not.
It's very green. it's very green. What is your lineage? What is your history, Kevin?
Well, to my understanding, it's African American, Caribbean heritage, and also Native American ancestry. That's what I know so far. Mm-hmm. I do have to take that 23andMe test to get the full layout. What about you,
Kevin? Where in Africa, America are you from?
We're in Africa and America.
You said you're African American. Where in Africa, America are you from?
I'm sorry, we're being silly. African descent, some Caribbean heritage, and Native American heritage. So sorry, I misspoke.
Chris, what's your heritage?
Scotch Irish.
What's your heritage?
Scotch Irish. Big Sal.
I am Mexican Spaniard.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That explains a lot about you, actually.
Yeah.
And I, of course, am the same as Chris. I am Scotch Irish, so we have that in common.
Best.
I thought you said you were part Jamaican too, or something like that.
As in Jamaican me crazy, Kevin.
Oh.
Wow, Kevin, way to alley-oop that to him, bro.
I know.
What is wrong with you, sir?
I know.
This is why we can't have nice things, Kevin.
I know, it's terrible.
Walter, you've already been found out. Let it go. Let it go, Walter.
Irish or Scottish?
Is what?
Is what Irish?
I'm assuming Scottish.
That's Scottish.
Oh, Highlanders! I thought they were Scottish. Scottish.
Yes, they are. There's the Highlands and yeah.
If Sean Connery's in it, it's Scottish.
It's true.
Oh, okay.
Scotch, Irish, English, Danish, Slovenian, Welsh, Swedish. Jesus, Sammy, pick one. Pick a team. Pick a side.
And that's just
Tuesday.
I
mean, the whole team's there. What do you mean?
Sounds like an orgy. Is what it sounds like to me. Your ancestors all got together in an orgy, and somehow, I don't know, your grandfather or your grandmother was born. I don't know. Maybe both. That's a little inbreeding, though, so probably not. Hopefully. Either just one or the other was born. And then somebody came in from another area, way far away, from a different gene pool, and they mated.
Damn.
And thus became Sammy's lineage.
It's almost as good as when Arnold and Danny DeVito were twins.
Did you see on the Oscars last night? They reunited.
Come on. Bro, Godzilla won.
It did. Yeah, it did. Here's the thing.
Godzilla won.
A lot of people, a lot of big Godzilla fans are upset about that.
Why?
And it's interesting because it won because of its special effects that were computerized, were digitized. And they were wanting Godzilla to win for its miniature work.
There's a guy in a suit.
But it's crazy because the movie won Best Effects, and it had the lowest budget out of all the other movies it was up against.
That's true.
I think that's a huge. Huge
statement. Huge statement.
Chris Duque, by the way, I saw Chris. Was it yesterday? I saw you perform on, I think it was Instagram. Chris is a very fantastic singer and guitarist, and he was performing live.
Yes, he is.
On his channel. So highly recommend that you friend him and listen to his performances because they are spectacular. Spectacular.
What would you say he sounds like? Like a little bit of Prince, a little bit of Roy Orbison?
Ooh, I would. Who was the guy that sang "Your Body Is a Wonderland"? Who was that?
Your body is a what?
Wonderland.
Your
What?
body is a wonderland.
Your body is
Never-
a wonderland. You know what I'm talking about. Damn it.
That's John Mayer?
John Mayer, thank you. Like a cross between John Mayer and Dave Matthews. Like if they fucked. That's Chris's music.
Chris has a very smooth voice. Very
No, Noodles, it wasn't Kenny G. Ward says Italian, Jewish, Irish, and German. Ah, all right, man. You can drink. and make very good latkes and bagels and all kinds of amazing food. Actually, Jesus, pasta and like everything. Literally everything. Ward can make everything. It's in your genes. It's in your genetics, dude. You can make us anything we want. Pizza, done.
And Dr. Sabrina, she said that song was made for her. It was made about her.
Well played, Sabrina. I love that. Actually, speaking of which, my favorite indirect insult that I've now, and this has nothing to do with you, Sabrina, just reminded me, is I love that for you. That's my favorite, like, indirect insult now that I give. I love that for you. So if you hear me say that, I'm probably not happy with you.
That's why that's about on par with in the South. If you hear
Bless your heart.
bless your heart, yes,
Yeah, I
exactly.
knew you were going there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great job.
You hear that? You're like, oh, you done messed up. You're done.
I could tell that Donnie is a Risk player.
I have played Risk, yeah. Chris, I'm going to be honest with you. All Sammy has to do is hear your music, and it's all over. It's over. But,
I agree.
But unfortunately, she's slightly deaf, so I don't know if that's going to work.
That is not true.
No, she's all deaf.
I like how he
No,
I like how he's like praising her straight to the insult, leading it up.
Well, that's what I do. She didn't come over and help me paint my accent wall. She helped me with the first coat, but not the second one.
Did you ask her to help you with the second coat?
Yeah. And she never responded. She did her usual Sammy thing where she responded to something else like 3 posts after, but didn't respond to that. I'm on to you, Sammy. I know how you work. Let's cut through the bullshit here.
Something else.
Yeah. Oh, let me just respond to something after and he'll forget all about it. No, I never forget. Unless it's important and then I've forgotten it. Like a birthday, someone's name, anything like that, I don't remember. But most stuff, yeah. So let's move forward here since we got everybody.
Turner. Yeah, let Professor Turner tell his story.
Yeah.
About Ireland.
Absolutely.
About the Emerald Isle.
Chris, let me know which pictures you need pulled up and I will do so.
I'm actually going to talk more about. I decided to pivot a little bit, and I'm going to talk about locations that I am currently or have booked. But I want to stick to one of my specialties for booking travel is sending people to see real life movie and TV locations. And so I thought I would talk about some of the locations that you can find in Ireland that have been in movie and TVs. And we're going to start with Star Wars. Because why not?
Oh.
So Star Wars, the new trilogy, the not good trilogy.
The Blue Milk.
Blue Milk, yes, exactly. The end of Rise of
episode 7, Act 2.
Episode 7 and episode 8.
Yes.
Took place in Ireland in the Skellig Islands. It's one of the more iconic locations in Ireland, and it's actually is a those little like huts, rock huts and stuff that you see in the movie are actually there. It was old Gaelic ruins, and there are weird like bird type weird animals on there. And it's just very interesting. There's like a monastery. So that's what was built. It was these Gaelic people in this monastery about islands created about 300 million years ago, and then over time, it was built up to what it is, and it's just, a lot of that stuff is natural, and then that monastery, all those little rock formations that you see. I don't know if the picture's up. Is the picture up, Donald?
Yeah. I pulled it up about a half hour ago.
I don't have YouTube, so if you look at the little huts, those were all part of the monastery, and you can use, and as they used in Star Wars. So that's pretty much it. It's an island. The only way you can get there is via boat, of course. There's not enough land because of the rocky cragness of it to land a helicopter on there. So literally, you have to have a boat. That's Skellig Michael.
That is beautiful, Chris. Thank you for that. I fell asleep for a minute.
Wow.
Well, that's how I get my name, Professor.
Why you disrespect the man? The man is giving.
We
you
lost 5 viewers.
How do you know that?
I can see the count.
Would you be more interested to know that there was a herd of goats that lived in the island, but recently they disappeared somehow?
Because they were fucking eaten by some type of monster. Make shit up, Chris. Get the excitement going.
I want people to come to the island, not go because there's a monster.
Oh my God. If somebody told me there was a monster... Chris, God damn it. Why do you think we went to Loch Ness? We went to Scotland. Why do you think I was adamant? We need to go on that boat, and they needed to do the sonograph or whatever the fudge it was, where they did underneath, and we could see like ping, ping,
Sonar?
ping, while we had all the scotch. Ping, ping, and we were like, oh yeah, that's the spot.
I thought you wanted to go to get him a condom.
What?
What?
You don't remember McCondoms?
Oh, you talking about the burger place?
No, there was a McCondom.
I don't remember the McCondom.
Remember in the window
big
of the ship they had, or at the port, there was a little, like, a bunch of like Scottish stuff, and there was a, I mean, this isn't Scottish, it's not Irish, but there was a there was like a McCondom.
I don't remember that. Why
No,
didn't we
remember
get
that?
one of those?
I don't think you could buy them.
We couldn't?
No, it was like an older like relic.
That's bullshit. This is all
Anyway,
bullshit.
the island has puffins. Freaking puffins. Who doesn't love puffins?
Puffins.
That's where the little.
Puffins are those birds that also make cereal for Trader Joe's that are really hard on your teeth.
But they're all. That's where That's kind of like, I think they like mixed all the animals that are actually on the island and made the weird things that they have in the movie.
Loch Ness also likes mango margaritas. Interesting, Chris. I did not know that. All I know is that when Chris and I went to on that boat to Loch Ness, and I was super convinced we were going to see the Loch Ness monster. I was super convinced. Disappointed, maybe a little bit, but also drunk. When we,
Very, very drunk.
because when you get on the boat, they're like, "Would you like a Scotch tasting?" And we're like, "Well, how much is it?" "It's super cheap." "Fine, we'll do it." And they're like, "Okay, here you go," you know. And then so they get you on this boat, and there's 2 levels, and it was balls cold, guys, balls cold, like ice cold. And this was in what? It was in April or May?
April, yeah. April.
Yeah, it was April, which is not terrible weather if you're in the U.S. But if you're up in Scotland, it is cold as balls still. And we were up on the top deck, like drinking our scotch and trying to act like we were badasses, and our faces were all red and weather beaten because of it. And then we came back down, had some scotch again. It was a good time. No monster, though. No monster, which was super disappointing in a lot of ways. But we did have a nice sandwich, a really good soup in the town of Loch Ness, you know, that area, which was great. But if you're planning on going, you're probably not going to see the Loch Ness Monster on a tour. I recommend going out and swimming it. Just swim it. Just
No way.
swim it. Because what I've seen in movies is that if you start to drown, the monster will come up and save you and then bring you to shore. And then you'll like spit out all the water and stuff. And then you'll look and he's gone. And then later you realize you've been saved by the Loch Ness Monster. So Just go for a long swim, possibly drown, and then maybe it'll happen.
Well,
So
you
should we probably
you should do it first, you know, like
Who said
should we get on the should we go back on the proper island, Donald?
All right, so who's next? Kevin, Sal, you guys want to talk about comic book characters?
yeah.
Alright, sure.
Go ahead, Kevin. You can start it off.
I'll bring one up and then he can put it on screen. How about good old Matt Murdock,
Who?
Matthew McCurdock.
Who's that?
Daredevil?
No, you have him as
Daredevil.
Matthew.
Well, same
Yeah.
thing. Matthew, Matt. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah, that's a good picture, Kevin.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh.
Although he is in full Daredevil costume and he has his blind glasses on. So I don't understand it quite. Like, is he outing? I'm pretty sure he's outing himself. Like, let me enlarge this. This is where Matt fucked up. He outed himself in front of everybody. Look at all the people behind him and shit, right? Firefighters, cops and shit. Like witnesses. He's got his mask completely off. He has his blind glasses on and his little stick. Not his walking stick, his Daredevil baton stick thing. Yeah, Matt, you really messed up. Like, I'm curious as to where this is from and what happened exactly, like, right after.
It's the blind lawyer.
But it's a
Blind
great,
lawyer.
it's a great picture. It's just, yeah, and he needs a shave too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, next month will be the 60th anniversary of his first appearance in comics.
Kevin, do you have that first appearance?
Not yet, but I will get it one day.
Do you want it?
Do you
though?
have?
I
Oh,
don't
I
have
want
it. I don't have
It's a
it.
cool character. He's a cool character.
Is he though?
And he's inspirational. A blind man who uses his senses to fight crime. And
He
and
gets
also he's had a-
special abilities due to some toxic waste or something.
Yes.
That's,
He was
that's
trained
no
by-
more special than the Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean? Actually, the Ninja Turtles is more
Influence-
special
influence,
because it
and
morphs them
influence.
into humanoid beings. Whereas
Anthropomorphic, yes.
It just makes Daredevil blind but he gets like bat radar or something. It's really interesting.
But still, he's a
Sonar.
cool character. He's a cool character.
That's what I said.
Operates out of Hell's Kitchen, delivering justice, and also he's an attorney in the daytime. He was trained by a mysterious blind master named Stick. I mean, what work? And of course, he's had a difficult love life as well. But
Yes, blind glasses are the technical term, Sammy.
you say blind glasses? Oh
Blind-
yes,
blind glasses. Yes.
Yes.
Yep, we're up to
Basically,
7
shit.
now. I'm not insulting him. I'm insulting his decision making. I mean, this is a poor decision on Matt's part. Like, it really is.
No one's perfect. No
but he
one's
is
perfect.
Irish, right, Kevin? He's Irish,
Yes.
Probably
Yes.
drunk.
as evidenced
perfect.
by the by season 2 or 3 of Daredevil with all the.
Hell yeah, season 2, the way it opens. I know when I warned you about it that you'd be insulted, and I have to admit that was a little messed up. That was pretty stereotypical.
Yeah.
But
Big Sal-
what happened?
You haven't seen season 2 at the beginning of it?
It's been a while, so you could go ahead and refresh the mem.
It's kind of like a crime Irish, mafia gang. They're having, literally stereotypical. What do they have? An Irish cabbage or something like that. They're talking with the accents.
Oh, they have
and
corned
everything.
beef. They have cabbage.
Corned beef,
There's
yeah, corned
fucking
beef, cabbage.
potatoes everywhere on that table
Yeah.
for no goddamn reason. Just steamed fucking potatoes. It was the most racist
they're-
goddamn thing.
I was
Like, okay, if Netflix / Marvel would have done Luke Cage, and they would have had these black gangsters, and they were like, oh yeah, we got to get Luke Cage, and at the table it was filled with fucking watermelon and fried chicken and bullshit like that, right?
and grape soda too, right?
Yeah, and grape soda. There'd be the hugest goddamn uproar, right? Everybody would have lost their minds. But because it's the Irish, nobody gave a shit. They're like, fuck them. And they're like, let's just fill this with cabbage and goddamn corned beef and boiled potatoes. Pile it high as the eye can see. You know? It was just
And then
fucked up.
it get gunned down. Then it get gunned down brutally.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Did you
God
file
damn.
a complaint about it?
I should
I
have.
told him. I told him to send
So-
an email. If you're
so
upset about
hold-
it, send an email. Send an
So
email.
so look, he's upset about it that nobody did an uproar, but you yourself didn't want to do the uproar.
Me?
Yeah.
You don't
You have
know.
to start the you have
You
to start
don't
the
know
fire.
me, Sal. You don't know me.
I didn't say. I'm saying that you could have started.
How? What would I do? Go to Netflix's offices?
Yeah, just yeah.
You know where it's on Sunset Boulevard.
They didn't have
You know where
that
it
then,
is.
though. They didn't have that.
you had internet. Go. I feel like
Email.
you disrespected the
Some calls
Irish
email.
people. You know.
Email.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Kimberly Opipari says
Oh,
Cyrus.
it's
It's
my-
Sal's
that's
friend.
my
Sal's
friend.
friend.
yeah.
Sal's friend.
Okay.
She's in Korea. She's a teacher in Korea.
Oh,
In
hey.
Seoul. Yeah.
Hey, who else?
Oh.
Who else of our friends? Kevin is a teacher in South Korea.
Ren, we used to work with at the
Karen,
airport.
yeah, Karen, and who also drives a Kia Soul. This
There you
guy.
go. There you go.
Yeah. That's
Kim's short. So if she tells you she's 6'7", don't believe her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's only complimenting you in the chat, but okay, you go ahead and hit her.
Oh,
Hit her where it
Chris
hurts.
She gives me shit.
Does she?
Chris Duque makes a good point. He says Daredevil isn't racist because he doesn't see color. See what I
Hmm.
did there?
Only one spectrum. You know what's crazy? It actually makes a lot more sense because, like, you know, like Daredevil's very religious.
Yes, he's a holy man.
Yeah, especially like when he's like, you know, fighting crime. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that he was, you know, Irish American. Because like when you remember when you see his
All
dad
these
as a
songs suck.
boxer, you know, like the way he's talking, you know what I mean? Like I instantly thought he was Italian,
Really?
like his dad, you know.
Oh,
'Cause when we got-
okay.
You know, when we got the first movie, I'm saying that's how the movie portrayed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, also Hell's Kitchen, you know, was known as kind of like an Irish working class American neighborhood in New York. So
I'm
it makes sense.
I'm not from there. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm just,
Know what I
just
mean?
telling
Mean
you.
Gene.
I'm just telling you, brother.
Oh.
I'm just telling you. I'm just educating you.
Educate. All right.
Yes,
Educate.
educate.
So yeah. Is shepherd's pie Irish food?
No.
It is kind of.
Okay. So no, and then it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there are shepherds. So if you make pies out of shepherds, it makes it an Irish food.
You don't what? Shepherds. Those are people, Chris. You don't make pies out of people.
Well, he said shepherd's pie. Where else are you gonna get? Like, how else are you gonna make shepherd's pie?
Jesus. Okay. All right.
Jesus
Sean
Christ.
McGean has finally arrived. Jeez, Sean. About time. Did you guys discuss Peaky Blinders yet? No, we have not. And then he says, Daredevil is a great character. The Netflix series was great as well. Some of those fight scenes, like the never-ending fight scenes where they didn't make any cuts, fantastic. And the fact that they put Charlie Cox in the Marvel, aka canon universe, is
Great.
that's great. Charlie Cox, as far as I'm concerned, is a national treasure when it comes to the Marvel universe. He is one of the few that should have made it over, for sure.
Yes.
Kimberly, yes, Ben Affleck was Daredevil for the Fox universe, but that is hopefully not going to happen. But it may.
Well, he might.
It may
He
happen.
might be in the Wolverine and Deadpool movie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it may happen in the in the
I will
Deadpool
die
universe.
laughing.
We did get a tidbit, a little snippet that it's possible that Ghost Rider, aka Nicolas Cage, might arrive in that universe. So we'll see what's up with that. I'm very curious about this new Daredevil movie and very excited also.
To answer Sal's question, the dish originated from the British Isles, but some might argue that it is indeed an Irish dish by origin.
Yes, yes, JL. Shepherd's pie is usually made with lamb, and cottage pie is ground beef. Yes. Sammy says, I love Jennifer Gardner, but Elodie Young is better. As Electra, yeah. Sean McGean says the Devil
Yeah,
movie
I
was
agree.
lame, though. Except for when we saw what he could see and his blind vision moments when they turned it around so you could see it. That was actually really cool. Did this pick of Daredevil come during Civil War? It's possible, Jason, possible. Sabrina says, Irish soda bread is so yummy. Yes, it is. And I am going to bring that up right now.
Yep, that actually leads into your thing with food.
Yes. Irish soda bread, as you can all see in front of you, is effing delicious. I don't know why that is. I feel like Irish soda bread sounds boring. I mean, you think about Irish soda bread, like you think probably like baking soda. You don't think like Coca-Cola or Pepsi soda. But it's best served slathered with plenty of Irish butter. Irish soda bread is the best way to start your St. Patrick's Day festivities. What is in the recipe for Irish soda bread? Well, let's go over that real quickly. Irish soda bread is a quick bread that relies on a combination of baking soda instead of yeast and buttermilk to rise. It's a fairly simple bread to create. If you enjoy baking, most likely you'll already have the ingredients. While many Irish soda bread recipes include currants, very traditional Irish soda bread has no mix-ins at all. But you can mix shit in. Who cares? We've included options. So here's some options. How to make Irish soda bread. When adding your wet ingredients to your dry, stir until just combined. That's it. Any more, and you could risk overmixing your dough, resulting in a dry loaf. How to serve Irish soda bread is served with a healthy slab of butter. Use Irish butter if you really want to make this as traditional as possible, or add homemade butter if you know how to churn. And if you know how to churn, hit me up. Like, slide into my DMs. We need to talk. Storage and freezing. Irish soda bread can dry out quickly, so it's best to store this bread in an airtight container for around 2 to 3 days. After that, you will want to freeze it, or you done fucked up. Like, honestly. There is some ingredients. All-purpose flour, granulated sugar, baking soda, kosher salt, butter, buttermilk, 1 large egg, melted butter, raisins, currants, or mini chocolate chips if you really want to make it sweet. But otherwise, it's a very simple recipe that you can look up online. And if you guys want, I can actually copy and paste the recipe in the chat. So let me go ahead and do that now. And there you go. You can copy and paste that into your web browser, and you will have a delicious recipe for Irish soda bread. So enjoy. All right, Chris, another location. Hit us.
All right, we're gonna go with a movie about a Scottish person.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Scottish?
All right, yes. Well, the movie was about a Scottish person, but it was shot in. Some of it was shot in Ireland. The movie we're talking about is Braveheart. And the location we were talking about is called Hirog.
What's the gentleman's real name? Now, in Braveheart, they named him differently.
Well, it was William Wallace and it was Robert DeBruce.
It was actually, pretty much. Yeah, they say it was William Wallace in the movie, but it was actually Robert DeBruce.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is a very important clarification to make for anybody going on any tour in Scotland when they want to see Braveheart's William Wallace. No, you don't. You want Robert DeBruce. That's who you want to see. That's the locations you want to go.
There's actually not much to see for William Wallace. Basically, it's just Stirling, and there's a monument there. That's pretty much it for William Wallace.
Yeah.
So it's like, but yeah, Robert DeBruce, he has that whole thing in the Edinburgh Castle and a whole bunch of other stuff. But Kira, it's basically a big flat plain west of Dublin. It's about 5,000 acres in the common land of Kildare. It's really well known for like horse breeding, so you'll see a lot of and training, so you see a lot of horses out there. It's part of there's what they call a fen there, which is the largest, and it's the largest fen in Ireland. Fen is basically a type of peat, like wetland with peat in it, and is really fed by like mineral-rich ground and sort of water. So yeah, big wetlands, the biggest wetlands in all of Ireland there. It was used in the 13th century. There was a battle there with against Henry III of England. Lord Pembroke was leading the battle, and he lost and then ran off and died at his castle at Kilkenny.
Kilkenny?
Kilkenny, yeah.
Isn't that what happens every time in South Park?
Aha.
Good one. But there's lots of mythology involved with it. There's a hill at the north of Cura called the Hill of Allen, and it's a meeting place for a mythical Fianna, which is like a warrior hunter band. Like basically, it was a very like Gaelic mythic thing. And there's also was a big boxing match there. There's like in part of it there is a natural coliseum, and a boxer had a boxing match there, and that was in the late 1800s. And so there are lots of stuff. It's huge, you know. It's like 5,000 acres, like just about 40 minutes west of Dublin.
And
what?
No, that's it.
That's all a lot of information. I mean, that's a lot of information I have.
I've got a lot.
In 1941, it was bombed by the Third Reich.
You know, something interesting that I want to bring up in Scotland. None of the trees that are left in Scotland are indigenous. Like,
Really?
literally, every tree in Scotland was destroyed. Here's how great England is. Let me point this out. England, for their war effort, did not rape and pillage basically everything in England. They went to Scotland because they had control over Scotland and took all of Scotland's trees and tore them down for the war effort in order to fight the Third Reich, which is admirable, don't get me wrong, but maybe some of these sons of bitches could have gone into their own land and torn down shit instead of annihilating every indigenous tree in Scotland. So a lot of the trees that you do now see in Scotland are actually from Japan, which is very surprising to hear. But that's what they had to do to rebuild their countryside, is outsource. So it's super fascinating. It's a very fascinating part of history. Yeah. Yeah, look it up. And if I'm wrong, Chris will eat his own shoe.
I will not.
Yeah, you will. John Fox says, looking forward to the soda bread this year, Donald. Thanks for the bread last year. I don't remember bringing bread last year, but I also drank. So it's possible that I bought bread and brought it in and said I made it, which does happen a lot. I will say things I did that I did not do. Sean McGee says, did you guys discuss the Pogues, Ireland's greatest band? No, although I did play them on loop last Thursday at the comic shop that I work at, while I did all of the chores, so to speak, that I had to do at the shop. Jason says Sean is right again. Kimberly says, I like food. Well, we like food too, Kimberly, so enjoy. It's just brought up, nothing concrete. You are correct, Chris, with Grant Gustafson. Whether that'll happen or not, we're not 100%. John Fox says, at Shadow heard the same thing. Happy it happens. Chris says, I don't think he should use him. I think he should start completely fresh. Whatever works. Kimberly says, it just hit me. It's St. Paddy's Day with a question mark. Well, it hit you in the wrong spot because St. Paddy's Day is this Sunday. It's not today. Sean says, what about great Irish actors? Cillian Murphy, baby. Cillian is the best of the best. Well, let's talk about Oppenheimer, shall we? Or Oppenheimer, or however you want to pronounce it. It was all right, but did it deserve that many nominations and that many wins? No. Did Robert Downey Jr. truthfully deserved to win Best Supporting Actor? No, it should have been Mark Ruffalo. For those that were watching these films,
agree.
Mark Ruffalo should have won.
And I think Giamatti should have won Best Actor. So.
Yes, Giamatti was fantastic. Cillian was very cold, and basically he literally was playing the character from Peaky Blinders. That was Cillian playing. It's like there was no difference in my head. So I didn't see him going out of his way in his acting capabilities. Still great, don't get me wrong. But Paul Giamatti did a fantastic job. Half blind, by the way, by wearing a contact that covered his eye. And one of them that gave him a lazy eye. So you tell me how that works. Paul Giamatti is a national treasure, and we should respect that. As far as Best Supporting Actor, yes, Robert Downey Jr. won because of all of his past films and because he's an institution in the filming world. Yes, well, there's that, but he's done so much more before that that equates a deserving nomination. Yeah, Chaplin was fantastic. He's very good at most of the stuff he does. Even when he was on multiple drugs, he was still fantastic.
It's funny, all four men you mentioned were all in comic book movies. Rhino, Scarecrow, Iron Man, and the Incredible Hulk. That's just kind of crazy.
It's very true. And if I brought up Batman, a.k.a. Michael Keaton, what do we have there? The Vulture.
Vulture.
Yeah. Sammy says Colin Farrell, Liam Neeson. We did that last year where we mentioned a lot of actors, so we're going to continue on with kind of like what we're doing right now. As far as some characters, there's a lot in the chat. You guys are busy tonight. Sean McGinn says Peter O'Toole is awesome. Lawrence of Arabia, take no prisoners. Let me tell you, Lawrence of Arabia is 17 hours long and bored me to tears. I literally cried myself to sleep.
You disrespecting a David Lean movie?
It's boring as fuck. I'm sorry. Sean, I'm sorry. I know we don't always see eye to eye when it comes to films, and this is going to be another one. Lawrence Arabia is beautifully shot. It's beautifully shot. Like, the cinematography is fantastic. But the story, it doesn't need to be that long.
I agree. I watched that movie in high school and fell asleep. So
yeah, it's so long. Kimberly says, here but lurking, gotta teach. No problem. Crocodile Hunter Steve Irwin, he is not Scottish as far as I know. Or Irish. Yeah, or Irish. Osiris says, okay, all right, that's you. Sean says, Richard Harris, great as well. Yes, absolutely. JL says, last one on soda bread. Chef John on Food Wishes does a great soda bread. He doesn't make you scroll 19 pages of content for the recipe. Plus, wait, is that a slam on me? Did I make you scroll through 19 pages of content? I don't think that's a slam on me. I think that's something else. But plus, he's a former culinary teacher, and his recipes are so good. John Fox, yes, I did not make soda bread. So, you know what? It could have been my friend made soda bread, so I might have brought some in and had you have some. Sean says, if we're doing Scotland, we need to give props to Sean Connery. Yes, I too love beating my wife. I slap the shit out of her every chance I get, Sean McGinn.
Never close.
Good on you, sir.
Open.
Give her a good one every once in a while. Are you married? Oh, this is going to be a fun response.
Never heard about Ewan McGregor?
Hey, Alex.
McGregor.
Open hand.
Did Ewan McGregor beat his wife?
No, I'm saying he's Scottish.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about Scottish actors.
I don't know. I don't know.
Sabrina
says you are crazy. I think she's talking to you, Kevin.
I don't think she's talking to me.
Really? Chris, I agree. 100%. The heaviness of it. Robert Downey Jr. Slade in Oppenheimer, that was his best acting thus far. Disagree.
And the other Sean.
Have you not seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, sir? Have you not seen it? If you have not, look it up. It's a national treasure.
I think his best acting is Tropic Thunder.
Sean McGinn says, Donald, you're boring as feck. Oh, Sean, now you're just mad. Now Sean's just angry. I've angered Sean. I should not have done it, but I've done it. Big Sean
Wenger,
says, "Oh my
yeah.
God, Don. Oh, wrong about Lawrence of Arabia. Sorry, Big Sean, but I'm right. Chris, you agree, right?
I do.
Do you agree, Sal?
I plead the fifth.
We know what that means.
Wow.
I plead the fifth. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I like. There's this. Okay, so Sabrina, if you can tell me how you can separate the intensity in the role from Peaky Blinders from Cillian Murphy into Oppenheimer. Tell me that there's something there that separates that intensity, that the underlying, like what is it? It's an underlying mythology, not mythology, but an underlying kind of it's like a low key intensity that just simmers at the surface. Tell me you don't see that in both those roles. Like, tell me you don't see that. And we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Kevin and Sal with another character. Bring up another character, guys.
All right, it's another cool character that got a lot of shine and a lot of good play in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Miguel O'Hara,
Hey.
Spider-Man 2099, half Irish, half Mexican. Geneticist representing Nueva York, the renamed
crazy.
New York City of the future.
Funny that they went Mexican instead of like Dominican or Puerto Rican in New York. You know,
He was
Yeah,
an interesting choice for sure.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
But I'm going to tell you something, Sal, that might blow your mind. People don't
Blow
look
it.
at people don't look at their heritage when they find themselves attracted to somebody. Most normal people, they just look at the individual and their personalities. And I'm sure Miguel's mother, when she fell in love with Miguel's father, did not think of that. They just thought of what that person represented and how they presented themselves.
Mhm.
And thus Miguel was born, so to speak. There was some
I'm
type
not questioning
act-
how he was born. I'm questioning
love.
that how many Mexicans are in New York.
Actually,
A lot.
There's a good percentage.
Really?
A good percentage.
Yes.
A good percentage.
Okay.
I'm gonna break it to
believe
you, Sal.
Kevin.
They're all over.
They're everywhere.
Sean McGean says Mr. Sean is right. So Big Sean is right. Donald is wrong as per usual. Well, Sean, you step into my store, my shop. We'll see who's right and who's wrong. I'll set you straight.
Oh, Sean, the other Sean
I
makes
dare
a good
you.
point.
I dare you to come on in. He has yet to step foot into my shop. Yet he talks trash every show. Every show. And I mean that with love. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at you or anything.
Hey, Che Guevara is half Irish and half Argentinian. Look at that.
That's great. Anybody know who those are?
Never heard of him before?
Have you heard of Shay? I have. Have you, though?
Big
about
Sal has?
Think about it. And I don't want to get into politics, but there is in Haiti right now a gentleman, I believe he goes by Barbecue, that is quoting a lot of Shay rhetoric in order to
Justify certain
oppress and justify certain indignities that's happening to his people. So I'm going to skirt from that and pivot and move on to something else.
And Janet just brought some stats. 16% Mexican New York City is. Is that true?
Hey,
I didn't
there
know
we
that.
go. She probably
Wow.
Googled it, which is
Wow.
fine. I'm fine with
Wow.
that. I'm fine with that.
Wow, look at
I
that.
wonder what the percentage is in California, though.
Well, good Lord, it's probably like 45%.
The intensity is
I was-
there,
I
but
was
I'd
thinking
rather
like
get
60 or more.
Sabrina. I agree. I'd rather get in a fist fight with Oppenheimer than him playing the character in Peaky Blinders. But primarily because of his family lineage, I would say has a lot to do with that. And you can disagree if you want, but I think you're going to agree with me on that one. JL says, so first movie, some of us are ignoring our kids' bedtimes for this. So first movie? I'm confused. What movie?
Oh, they probably thought we were going to talk about an Irish movie or a movie based on Irish characters. That's probably what they're asking.
I
or
mean,
assuming.
I can, but I'd rather talk about something a little more important, aka Irish brown bread. Don't get mad. Oh, okay, JL, don't get mad at me. But when Chris and I went to Ireland, one of the staples of every stew, every soup, everything we got that was in a bowl was served with Irish brown bread with Irish butter. And it was always so good. It was always fantastic. Always a winner in my book as far as taste and quality. And that's because, it's a quick bread, meaning no yeast or rise. It has a dense yet tender interior that's good for dipping into your soup, so it doesn't break off very easily. It kind of holds its ground, boys. And
Old.
right, and it's great for also you can use it for like sandwiches. So if you want to put corned beef on top of it, cabbage, I like to make Irish grilled cheeses. And I know that sounds crazy, but you get like a brown bread and you add in a Welsh or an Irish cheddar to it, like a white cheddar that's aged at least 8 years. And then you add your corned beef, and then you add a little cabbage, a slight bit of wet to it. So you add some of the broth from the corned beef that you've been like baking or cooking in the hot pot, so to speak, or the crock pot. And then if you want to, which I highly recommend, add some butter on the bottom, butter on the top. It doesn't have to be Irish butter, but it can be. That only heightens it. And then you can add, here's the key, you can add a blue cheese mustard on top of that. And that will, chef's kiss, elevate the hell out of your sandwich. And then you can have a beautiful corned beef sandwich with your brown bread and your delicious butter. It creates a very sweetness with the bread, kind of a salty sweet with the butter, and a very mustardy, blue cheesy, velvety, creamy feel on top of it, along with your cabbage and your carrots or anything else you want to add. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. Far and Away is a very good Irish movie. The Boondock Saints, that's Irish. Yes, you're right, John. Gotta go soon, says Alex Banquita. No problem, dude. You should watch Motorcycle Diaries, Donald. And Sean McGean says, how about Brad Pitt as the Irish gypsy in Snash, among Pitt's best roles? Couldn't understand a damn word he said, Sean. I'm going to be honest.
It was really hard to decipher what he was saying.
Mm-hmm. Very
Especially when he was
hard.
trying to say the word dog. Right, dogs?
Very, very hard. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, Chris, do you have another location that you'd like to bring up or talk about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Cliffs of Moher.
Oh, okay. Let me bring that up.
So, Cliffs of Moher, it was ranked the #1 attraction in all of Ireland.
It's very nice.
It is very nice. Lots of interesting things happened when Donald and I visited Cliffs of Moher.
Yes.
First of all,
we had
that place is
relations
windy.
for the first
That
time.
place is windy as
that.
F.
Yeah, sorry.
I am fat, and I was walking sideways. Like, it was insane how windy it was there. It was a cool story. We found a dog. There's a dog just hanging out at the cliffs. And we didn't know who he belonged to. We couldn't find an owner. We looked everywhere for an owner. We couldn't find one. We might have told the story already, but I'm telling you. We looked for an owner. The dog followed. We were walking down the down the stairs. The dog followed us, kept following us, following us. And we're like, well, crap. So we're like, started looking over, like, how are we going to, what are we going to do with this dog? If he's going to be taking this dog back with us, are we going to have to find somewhere to, like, take this dog? And, so we're like, we've, by the time we got to the bottom, this was a long ride down, or not ride, walk down. Eventually we came and was like, all right, we're going to put him in the car. We're going to take him with us. We got a dog now for the rest of our trip. The owner, I think the dog just disappeared or something, but we found him. He was like hanging out on a cliff. We were worried he was going to fall. And those cliffs, let me tell you, those cliffs are 700 feet tall. Those are big cliffs. They were, the cliffs run 9 miles long. It's 9 miles of cliffs. At the smallest, shortest, they're 400 feet, and the highest are 700 feet. Those are big cliffs. And they were used in 2 movies. They were used in Harry Potter.
Nice.
When in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, when Harry and Dumbledore apparate onto the shore. But they was also used in one other movie. These cliffs are also known as the Cliffs of Insanity.
What? No way.
Yes. This was used as Cliffs of Insanity in The Princess Bride.
Ooh. One of my favorite movies ever.
There's also an Irish fiddle song named after the cliffs. Luckily, there's 1,427 visitors a year, basically, is what it gets. So it's a lot of visitors that go there. It is just outside of the city of Doolin, where Donald and I had the best beef and get a stew of our lives. Well, at least in my life. I don't know about he fits his, but with brown bread. And it's really cool. They have in peak season there is like what's of it? Whole like 17 different varieties of birds on the cliffs, including puffins. And
which we did not see, but we looked
did
for
not.
them.
We
kept going, hey,
season,
Puffy,
so.
Puffy. Nothing showed up.
Yeah, well, we weren't there during peak season, so.
It's true.
We
were. That was the windiest wind I've ever winded. Like,
yeah,
I've never experienced anything like it. We have photos of people being blown over. Like, literally blown
standing sideways, like
over.
standing sideways because of it. Yeah.
Somebody trying to reach for a wall to hang on. It was that intense. Like, it was insane. That poor dog, we thought died. That had got blown over. It literally got blown over, and we thought it got blown into the water. But luckily, underneath the area, the green area that was up top, there was a small cliff on the side. So the dog, when it got blown over, it fell onto the cliff area and ran and came back up. Apparently, he was a very much a local dog that we had not known.
Yeah.
We just thought somebody brought a dog as a pet, and the dog got blown off the cliff, and we were so worried.
But yeah, so there are 30,000 pairs of birds living on the cliffs during peak season. Along with birds, it's actually 20 species of birds. You can also find goats, of course, because why not? Mm-hmm. You can also, in the water, you can see gray seals, porpoises, dolphins, mink, whales, basking sharks, and sunfish. On the land, other animals are also feral goats, of course, foxes, badgers, and the Irish hare. And, of course, cattle, because there's cattle everywhere. In fact, you know what? We're driving randomly down the road towards Doolin, and there was just random donkeys by the side of the road. Ireland's a weird place. There's got animals everywhere. They love their animals there. Remember that? We stopped and said hi to the donkey on the side of the road. There's like 2 of them.
Yeah. I have photos of the donkeys somewhere. It's fantastic. They're just like up against a fence, and they're just like, "Hey, what's up?" Yeah. It was
like 2 feet. They were like 2 feet from the car. It was insane.
I'm gonna tell you what. Like, driving in Ireland was one of the most stressful things ever. Because first of all, you're on the wrong goddamn side of the road. for us.
Well,
Then you're
anyway.
also in the wrong side of the car.
And I'm on the wrong side of the car. And you literally, we had the smallest car, so Chris could not fit behind the wheel, the steering wheel. He could not fit to drive the car. So I had to drive the entire damn time because it was such a small car. And even I was like sucking it in, trying to drive. And
I clown car.
I hit the curb so many times, and it was just like, that's it. This is it. This is when we die. And it was sleeting. There was hail. It's April, mind you. And it was so stressful. Once we got to Doolin, I was so excited that for at least a day or two, I did not have to drive. We could just pretty much walk everywhere. The only place we couldn't walk was the Cliffs of Moher, which didn't really have any traffic. And if it did, it was a one-lane road, and one of you just pulled off, and the other person just went around, and everybody understood that, which was fantastic. But it was so supremely stressful to drive in Ireland. But because I had a license in the U.S., I was cleared to drive all around Ireland, wherever the hell I wanted, just because I had a U.S. driver's license. And I was like, fiddly-dee, okay, let's try this.
That's dope.
Yeah, it worked out, but Jesus, seat of our pants, you know what I'm saying? Like, we lucked out.
No ghost stories out there when you guys were out there? Like, they didn't say, like, oh, if they hear, like, you know, such and such from the battles of whatever.
Well, we did
night.
We did go to a haunted castle out by Tullamore Dew distillery.
Nice.
We didn't see any ghosts, but there was apparently a bunch of them. Did you see any ghosts, Donald?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did one touch you somewhere they were supposed to? I guess we got to go back and punch them for it.
We got to go back and touch the ghost.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
Jesus Christ, Don.
It's okay.
By the way, so if you get a chance to go to Ireland, that's definitely a must see. It's probably the most important thing to see in Ireland. It is life-changing experience seeing that.
I agree.
There's also the largest stalagmite in all of
It's super exciting.
Ireland. It's only about 15 feet or something like that, but it's 20 floors of stairs you got to climb up and down. So it definitely gives you a cardio workout for the day.
I have a picture of Chris basically shitting himself.
It was like war. It was like war. It's like, just leave me here. Go.
I've never seen somebody so unenthused to walk stairs than Chris. It was the best. I have that photo. I will share it with anybody that asks.
Yeah, if anyone's ever interested, just message me and I can set you up with getting there and seeing it.
Excellent. Yes, Kevin and Sal. Quickly mention a couple characters. I'll bring them up.
All right, Sal. How about Guy Gardner?
Guy Gardner.
Yes,
What about the guy that you said the Jack-o'-lantern, the twins or whatever?
Yeah, they're like two different jack-o'-lanterns. One from DC, one from Marvel.
Jeez, now
Do they have the same powers?
Not exactly. Different powers.
Okay, I'm bringing up
And then, of course-
Jack-o'-lantern, Cormac, and Jack-o'-lantern, Jason Macendale. He sounds more Irish.
Dude, he almost looks like the guy from Watchmen.
Jason Macendale is totally Marvel's Jack-o'-lantern. Like, totally. 100%.
It's like a variant version of Ghost Rider.
Kind of, yeah. Jack-o'-lantern's actually a pretty cool character overall.
Oh, yeah. And the last one I remember I had was like the gay
Terry-
ghost, I believe.
Harry
What?
McGinnis.
The what? Kevin?
The gay ghost.
Oh.
I barely know anything about him, but I remember I discovered it. He's an
He
Irish
looks
character.
like
from
Sal
back
if he was just greener.
Ha ha.
Legit.
That's the guy that wears a Steelers hat.
There's nothing wrong with the Steelers hat, sir.
It's ugly.
And Sean's right, Shamrock and Banshee, but I think we did those a couple years ago.
We have, yeah. We've covered Shamrock. We've covered Banshee. We've covered a lot, so we wanted to go a little deep on this one, except for Guy. Guy's in low-hanging fruit, but he's one we haven't really discussed that I'm aware of. Also, Kyle Rayner from Green Lantern is Irish.
Yeah, Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Irish as well. Yeah, he's half Irish. I think the other half, I think he's like Puerto Rican. The other half
So I'm
of
going to
him.
bring that. What?
His heritage. Yeah.
How dare you? No, I don't know. Let's see. Do we have Kyle? I don't think we pulled him in. Oh,
You know what? I don't think we put Kyle in. I'm sorry.
no, we didn't. We didn't put Kyle. You son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
Who else did you pull
Kyle's
up?
cool.
Black Canary, Dina.
Yeah.
Dinah.
Yeah, Black Canary. Yeah, Dinah.
Dinah. You want to go to a Dinah and have a sandwich, Kevin? No?
Now, she basically has Banshee's powers, essentially, but I guess even more enhanced, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, she can't fly, so I don't know how enhanced that is.
Well, I mean, just the
Terry
voice.
McGinnis, Batman Beyond. That's another one.
Absolutely.
Who
Can't
we
go
will
wrong
get
there.
eventually. It'll happen. We'll get that. We'll get that character eventually. Anybody else
I
that
know
I
they
can bring up?
cancel.
Bobby Drake, Iceman.
Yeah, Bobby Drake, Iceman.
Also Irish guys. Hell yeah. I think he's gay too now, right?
Yeah, they retconned him, I believe, to be a gay character.
Lance O'Casey from Fawcett Comics. That's a deep cut, Sean, but a good one.
Is Dick Tracy Irish? Just thought about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd be shocked if he wasn't, to be honest.
Just thought about that. That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be shocked. And one last one let me bring up here. Steve Rogers, aka Captain Fudging America. No joke. Irish guys.
Representing Brooklyn.
Captain America. So there you go. There's a whole hodgepodge of Irish superheroes. You got Guy Gardner, you got Jack-O-Lantern, you got the other Jack-O-Lantern, you got the gay ghost, you got Black Canary, you got Iceman, you got Batman Beyond, and you have Captain freaking America. So that's a whole hodgepodge of Irish characters for you to enjoy. And I'm going to go with one last recipe. And then we're probably going to call it a night, guys. What's my last recipe going to be? Well, let's find out. If I can bring it up here. How about a good old-fashioned Irish coddle? You ever had an Irish coddle? It's basically like a stew, like a very
Donald,
delicious...
only when you coddle me every night before bed.
Well played, Chris. Well played, sir.
You need help.
Yeah, Irish coddle is delicious. What makes an Irish... Oh, God, they're talking about, like... I love when you're like, oh, traditional Irish meal, and then they're like, oh, yeah, let's talk about Irish cheese sandwiches or something. Irish spiced beef. And you're like, really? Come on, guys. You could do better than that.
Let's talk about a Reuben.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Get out of here. Rutabaga pie? Well, that's a good one. I'll go with that. But Irish coddle. Very traditional. It's an Irish sausage and potato stew. What's good about it? Right? The entirety of Ireland, Irish restaurants and things like that. Not a lot. Like, you don't, when you go to LA anyway, there's not a lot of Irish restaurants. If you've ever been to Dublin, though, Irish coddle is somewhat like an Irish version of beef stew. It's bacon, pork sausages, onions, and potatoes, all long stewed in a thick brown gravy. So it's kind of like, what would you say, in a brown gravy like that, you get a brown gravy that would be like a beef, kind of like a beef stew with brown gravy, but with bacon and stuff. It's very hearty, very tasty.
It is delicious.
It
Yep.
looks delicious.
Interesting thing is that in every coddle, every Irish family, traditional Irish family, has their own recipe. There really isn't one true version of coddle that exists. So anytime you look up an Irish coddle recipe, you're looking up something from a variation of a family lineage, which I personally love, because looking up recipes in general, a lot of them are very traditional and a lot of them very straight by the book. But with the coddle, it's something that you can enhance, you can sweeten a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a chili. Like not
Yeah.
flavor profile, but like in that chilies are passed down family to family. Like it's a family recipe type thing. So yeah.
Yep. Eo O'Brien is definitely an Irish character, and something. Sean, if you've tuned into any of my live shows on We Can Be Heroes on their Instagram, I've given away multiple early Silver Age appearances of Eo O'Brien, aka Plastic Man, just for the fact that it's leading up to the week of St. Pat's Day, which is this week. So I'll continue to do so this week. So if you ever pop on, announce yourself if you're a different name on IG. But I do give different characters highlights and stuff, and give giveaways and things like that. Big Sean, you are 4th generation Irish. Does that count? Yes, it does. Absolutely. Evan Aldridge says, sounds like Donald's childhood. What? The stew? I'm very confused on that one. Darby O'Gall and the Little People. Yes, that is very popular and very well known. It's also Disney, if I recall. Am I wrong? Sean Connery, yeah. All right, well, anyway, that's probably going to do us. We've talked enough about Ireland for now, and we have to save some for next year, because we do this. This is our traditional Irish discussion that I love to do, that Chris loves to do, Kevin loves to do, and Big Sal now loves to do, where we talk about everything Ireland and everything Irish. We appreciate you all being on. We thank you for this. And next week, Kevin, what do we got coming?
Possibly, depending on the schedule, spring break movies. Best spring break movies.
Best spring break movies, because that is coming.
Spring Breaker.
So spring break movies are coming down the line. Fun Irish times, says Janet. Thank you all for being a part of this. Oh, Danny boy, we want to thank you. I'm going to end this story now because I can't. But we want to thank you for being a part of this, and we hopefully will see you next week. We want to say that we appreciate you all, that we appreciate you being here, and we thank you for being part of the show. And if you're feeling
a like if you can.
Thirsty, yes, give us a like. And if you can, perhaps you will open up
a generous, responsibly drinking Rumble.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.